Hey folks, it's Echo here. Welcome to Horde Base Breakdown. In this episode, we're going to be covering Desert Panda. This is my new community server Horde Base that I put together, and man, is this thing packed with crazy features and whatnot. My tendency for Horde bases is to have a Horde and crafting base all in one, but I know a large number of players who like to separate their bases just in case something goes wrong during Horde night. These two opposing models are what led me to the Desert Panda. I pulled out my pencil and paper and started designing with the idea of having two bases that were able to be both connected and separated depending upon the need. Stay with me as I give you a tour around both bases, show you how they're connected, and then teach you how this defends against the Horde. And maybe by the end, this will change your whole perspective on all-in-one Horde bases versus separate. This is the Desert Panda. Oh, we struggled with the name on this one, folks, but let's get into it. So we're going to start in the garage, go up to the crafting base, and then over to the Horde base. Now, when I built the garage, I wanted something large and imposing so that as you came in here, you really got a concept of scale. So I built these large ceilings in here with these crazy pillars. There's a number of parking spots here so you can house a ton of cars if you wanted to, since this was going to be the community outpost. We've got some gas pumps in the corner, and then you can see over here that is access to the undercarriage areas here for wiring purposes. There's a run that goes all the way here to the other side. Now you'll also notice it looks like my typical setup with motion sensors along here. I had to change that up because I had a learning, folks. I learned that if you have a motion sensor underneath here and it faces up where your Horde base is, it will actually sense you straight through the concrete blocks above and continue to trigger and open and close until you go crazy while you're up in the Horde base, or up in the crafting base rather. So I had to switch it, and you'll notice the camera is actually up right there, encased in this little area, so it's, you know, a little bit more hidden. So I had to shift from my normal setup. There's ladders up in all four of the corners that lead up to the crafting area. They're all two off the ground as per my normal design, just so that zombies can't come up them. You've got these walkways on each of the side that don't really serve any purpose other than it helped with wiring when I was going through here. Additionally, all the power in here starts in the roof and is all solar and comes down here to the garage. And I use these security grates. If you've seen some of my other builds I've been doing recently, the lighting filtering through these just looks stunning. So I've really enjoyed that as a setup. So from up here a level, you have the general crafting area. So this one, I keep playing with different layouts, but this has all the typical stuff you'd need. And additionally, you know, when I was trying to think through this, I wanted this really to be an all-in-one base where I could get everything I needed. And since this game, I'm going with the, you know, the beer guzzling bar brawler. I wanted to be able to make any type of food and stuff that I needed. So this is easily enough to support me as well as the community. And the other thing I'll say about this layout is I wanted this to feel like an open air concept. If you've ever built in the desert, it has some of the most stunning sunsets and sunrises. And I wanted this to feel like an open space where you were working. I'll put these away so you can see a little bit better. So during Horde night, though, I also wanted this to be protected, so I used a lot of these rolling doors the whole way around. So during Horde night, you can go around and shut the entire crafting base off, so everything in here is fully protected. No buzzards or anything can get inside. So this is the basic crafting area, and then there's a level up from there. And you can see I've got a relay hidden in the back here. This is where we have power coming in from the roof, again being distributed throughout the rest of the base. Now this walkway around the top, much like the one in the bottom in the garage, doesn't serve a huge purpose other than it gives you access to all of your cabling. So all your wiring starts at the top of the base. This is a nice little trick if you didn't know it. These security grates here have a opacity of 0, so these can work perfectly fine embedded in here, and they're protected from vultures and stuff like that. So there's two solar banks on this side. and then 2 solar banks on that side, and that they're routed throughout the rest of the base. Next, we have a rooftop landing area, and this is for our gyros to come in. And it's funny, as I'm doing this, I still have not wired up the SMG turrets that I put up here, but I will at some point in time get these up and running, hopefully before tomorrow night when we run Horde night on the community server. So that is the whole crafting area here. Let me show you how you get over to the Horde base. So it looks like, yeah, I must have accidentally walked by these. These are controlled and stay down for a bit. You've got switches, so if I want to, I can turn them off for Horde night, which is typical. I have these on a pretty long setting. They go 10 minutes. So once this is on, all I have to do is step on the trigger plate, and that's going to open it up. If it was closed and I was coming from this side, there's a motion sensor below that opens it for you. And much like if you've seen most of my other wiring, I do try to hide things. So I've got a relay up there that's running things to help be able to power this. We've got power that's coming from the ceiling. So I'll show you how I set this up. Can I get there from this side? No, you got to go from this side. So these step ups on the side serve 2 purposes. I wanted for 1 to have some aesthetic, but for 2, I wanted these to act as stairs. I mean, you do have to have some parkour to get up here, but once you get up here, I have again nested a solar array in here. I've got an SMG turret just to protect it during Horde night. And then this is going to provide the power for this side of the Horde base. And then we've got that replicated on the other side of the Horde base. So I'm going to head down so that I can give you an idea of how the Horde base is meant to function. So during Horde night, obviously you'd come back here, you'd flip these up, and that will leave us completely isolated from the main base. You'd flip the other side as well. And then you've got stairs heading down. Now during Horde night, you've got essentially 4 lanes across the front, and I'll show you those in a second. You're going to come down these stairs, and you could fight from up at the top there, but you could also fight at this level right here. So here's the 1 level above where the zombies are going to come in. I do have my lights turned on. So you've got essentially 4 lanes. And when I was thinking about this, I was kind of thinking about the perspective of a gun range where the zombies would come up and they would be your targets coming straight at you. So you have access to shoot down at the zombies from up here. And this leverages the same mechanics that I've used in other bases where I'm using a set of vault doors. And these vault doors have switches on the inside, which I'll show you just in a second, so that you can flip them on and off. When the vault doors are closed like this will be an active lane, and the zombies will path up here, and you'll be able to fight them at the fighting position. You can have a large number of people here. We kept 2 lanes open during the last Horde night, and it worked pretty well, as you can have people shooting down from up here. And you notice that we've got an electric fence that goes right across the entryway down there, and that is repairable from up here. Those are all housed in here. So any repairs, you can come right in here and repair during Horde night. You see these little green bunker things right here at the side. These are actually dart traps. So there's dart traps that fire down on the position, and I'll show you how you can switch those on below. And additionally, I'm going to point this out. So I used a setup, or actually let me show you from the bottom. Well, 2 different things. Geez, lots to go into. So this is a 3D trussing block, and it's awesome because you notice I can reach through it to interact with this. I can also reach through it to wire it, to do whatever I need to it. But additionally, the dart trap can shoot through this type of piece. And that's exactly what I did on the bottom here. This is similar to what I did on the 5x5 challenge over at Glock's 5x5 challenge. So if you look right there, that is the 3D truss. It's got the dart trap right above it. And that just gives it a little bit of protection. But the darts are able to shoot straight down into your fighting position. So this is a pretty standard fighting position that you've seen from me in the past. I can't remember if I put a pole across the front or an I-beam. And then I've got the security grate on the bottom. This is a scaffolding block across the top. These are awesome if you use these. This will prevent crawlers from being able to crawl through there. and you'd be able to have one person, you know, potentially swinging their fists or whatever they're going to do there, and you can have people back up and shoot from here or above. Now, control wise, you've got these behind you. I always try to color code everything in my bases. And you know what? Let's go ahead and make it nighttime here so you can kind of see what this looks like. So we're going to go ahead and set time to what day are we on? 6:57. So set time 6:57, and we're going to make it 18:00. So it's nighttime and our lights will kick on. You'll get a sense for this base will start to look like in the evening. So the metal part, that is what's going to flick our vault doors up over here and put them on. And then this is going to flick on the electric fences both here, as well as there's a set of 3 electric fences below. And you know what? I just realized that I had a lack of symmetry in my base that I'm going to have to correct. But we'll do that after the video. So let's, so those are the controls that you have there. The other controls that you have are the dart traps, and those are right along the side here. So flick that, and it's going to put those on and start shooting down. You'll also probably notice there's a number of doors across here. My idea when I was building this was I want to make sure that I can air gap any specific area and close it off in case there was a breach here and I couldn't get the doors closed or opened rather in time. So this shuts off here. You could pull back and continue to shut this off and keep going. Now, is this overkill? Yeah, it probably is. But from a design perspective, I really liked it, so I did it. You notice also in the corner on each side, we're going to have a set of supplies. And then additionally below, one layer down, this is where all the wiring magic happens. So you notice I'm a huge fan of having wiring rooms, so you can see I've got color coding again coming down from the rooftop. So again, this is where that door control is being hidden underneath. And then we've got power for the electric fence here, which is routing down. The side that you repair it all on is over here. These are the repair parts. But down below, I've got these service tunnels that go across, route that up here, and into small rooms on the opposite side. So in this opposite side here, you've got the power coming in, being routed here. And these electric fences are going straight across. So that way, if the zombies fall through here or fall off the edge and they go into that break everything mode, they're going to hit these. And then they're going to get shocked, and that will hopefully break them out of that cycle. So, and that's what happens when you leave the electric fences on. So the zombies would hit that electric fence, and then they're going to path back up into whichever lane is currently open. So closed rather in this case. So they would come up here to the fighting position where you would be able to deal with them. So let's just go ahead right now and turn that off. You've also got relays hidden in here to be able to easily access. And then to get between the 2 different sides, you've got a trigger plate here. And this trigger plate will flip up these 3 vault hatches so that you can run across. They're on a pretty short timer, and then these will drop back down, separating the 2 sides. Now, funny thing is about this is if you want to, you could run along the edge like this, but zombies typically fail at it. They will just fall straight down into the bottom and cycle back up to the top. So here is the other side over here. And let me just check one thing, because I do think I missed something in my design on the other side, and I just want to confirm. Yep, sure did. So one other feature that I meant to put on both sides, that I did put on this side, is you've got those electric fences across the bottom. You can actually flip open this hatch right here and shoot straight down at them. Additionally, if you have any type of grenades or whatnot, you can huck those down there as well. So that's on both sides of these here. And then otherwise, this is pretty identical to the side that you saw before. So this is typically the time in a Horde base breakdown when we get ready to fight the Horde, but in this one, we're going to choose to close it out here. I hope you've been inspired to build by this and learn something. If so, please consider dropping a like and subscribe. And if you do want to see this base go up against the Horde, if you want to join us, I'll be streaming from my community server on Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central Time. And after we fight the Horde there, I'll also link it back to this video so that you can see it. Additionally, if you want to come onto the server and see this base in person, it'll be here for another 2 or 3 weeks before we do server reset. So you're welcome to come and join us for the Horde battle. After that, I'll be packaging this up and adding it to Patreon as another downloadable POI. So that's what I got today, folks. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Echoes out. Special thanks to all my community members out there, and especially my patrons. And if you're wondering where the name of this base came from, I blame Raw Gauge.